Child, let me tell you about this time that I was eating only salads for lunch and couldn't lose a pound to save my life. Until I realized, them hormones, they was playing me like a fiddle. Hey y'all, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Nina, a licensed psychologist, and that girl next door, Beautiful Brown Baby Doll, and your mind-body transformation specialist, self-appointed of course. As a new mom in my 40s, I know how tough it is to juggle health, hormones, and your family. Life be lifing, okay? I lost over 100 pounds in my 20s, but honey, giving birth at 40 and entering into that perimenopause phase said, hold my purse. And it taught me some hard lessons about hormones. Wouldn't take it back for the world, but they was hard. So today I'm sharing the 5 sneaky hormone mistakes I stopped making in order to lose over 30 pounds in just 3 months. If you want real, no BS health tips that actually work, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free 99. You are in the right place.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
As we dive in, as I always tell y'all, I'm good, but I ain't that good. I ain't Jesus. I ain't parting no Red Seas. I ain't Moses, none of that. So make sure that you see your doctor and find out what's going on with your body so that you can get the best results possible. And also make sure you comment on this video. Let me know your common hormone issues, the things you're working on, and also what videos you'd like to see from me in the future. But before we dive into these game changers, I want to talk to y'all about something that's been absolutely transformational for me, Midi Health. Today's sponsor. Listen, as someone who navigated pregnancy at 40, breastfeeding and pumping milk until my baby was right under a year old, and now dealing with possibly entering into that perimenopause phase while trying to maintain my health. And baby, I'm doing it every way possible. I know firsthand how complex hormone changes can be. But here's something that blew my mind. 80% of OBGYNs aren't even trained on menopause care. And 75% of women seeking help for hormone issues, baby, they don't even get real treatment. Look, I've been blessed with really thorough doctors, and I know that's not everybody's story. But even with great care, navigating post-baby weight and the energy changes while your hormones are still shifting, it requires specialists that try to understand the complexities of all that. And that's exactly why I'm obsessed with Midi Health. They're a virtual care clinic. They have clinicians who specialize in exactly what we're going through: perimenopause, menopause, and weight changes that come with shifting hormones. And you can book a virtual visit from your couch. And it takes just a few minutes to set up your account. Enter your insurance, tell them your symptoms, and choose a time to meet your clinician. They integrate into your health routine with virtual follow-ups, partner with your other doctors, and they can prescribe weight loss medications, hormone replacement therapy, and more. And I know lots of y'all have asked me about that. So this is a way to get into it. Get this, 94% of women report improvements with hot flashes in 3 months. 93% see better sleep within 5 months. Having a clinician that understands that my weight struggles aren't about willpower. They're about hormones, and that's everything. And I tell you, my consult and everything was so smooth. I told y'all about them last year. Really got me started with the weight loss moves and telling me that I was doing the things right, what was going on with my body. And I felt like the clinician that I met with was really invested in my overall health. Check out www.trymidi.com/Dr. Nina to schedule your visit and join over 200,000 women who trust Midi. The link's in my description. Now, mistake number 1 was the one that had me looking crazy for months. I was eating late at night, thinking as long as I stayed in my calorie range, I was good. Wrong, boo. Here's the science y'all need to know. Eating late spikes insulin right when your body is trying to wind down. It also disrupts your body's natural cortisol rhythms, and it messes with your growth hormone production. We don't want to do that. And that happens primarily during deep sleep. When you eat late, you're literally fighting your body's natural fat-burning hormones. Your insulin stays elevated, the cortisol gets all kinds of confused, and the growth hormone can't do its job of burning fat while you sleep. And this is where intermittent fasting became my secret weapon. Y'all know I've been speaking about it from the mountaintops. Let me know if y'all want me to do a special video on intermittent fasting and how to start. At first, when I started closing down the kitchen around 7 p.m. and I wouldn't eat again until 11 a.m. the next day. That 16-hour window let my insulin drop properly. My cortisol could normalize and my growth hormone could actually work. And my belly fat finally started budging when I started giving my hormones a break. And look, y'all, even if 16-8 feels scary, 16 hours off eating, 8 hours of eating, or 8-hour window rather. Start with a 14-10. Just stop that late night grazing and watch what happens. Mistake number 2 had me out here looking like a hamster on a wheel, doing hours of cardio thinking I would melt the pounds. But it was actually working against my hormones. Now, here's what nobody tells you about excessive cardio, above and beyond. Y'all know what I'm talking about, flipping across benches, doing all the stuff, the HIIT workouts day after day. No, I've done Insanity. I've done all of that. I know it works, but once them hormones kick, it spikes your cortisol, especially when you're already stressed from life, and life be lifing. High cortisol tells your body to store fat and break down muscle. Plus, all that cardio made me hungry. Very hungry, which made my intermittent fasting feel like torture. After 35, we lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. And muscle is a metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even when you sleep. All that cardio was eating away at the muscle that I so desperately needed. When I switched to strength training 3 to 4 times a week with just 2 harder core cardio sessions, of course the other days include a little bit of cardio, everything changed. More muscle meant that my metabolism stayed fired up, especially during those fasting windows. My body composition changed completely. I was losing fat instead of just losing weight. And let me know down below if you want a video on some of my detailed workout routines. And strength training actually supports your fasting. And that's by keeping your blood sugar stable and also by preserving muscle when you're in the fat burning state. Win. Mistake number 3, y'all, I was wearing stress like it was a designer jewelry piece. Full professor, new mom, content creator, okay? I thought stress was just a part of being successful, let's be real. But chronic stress keeps your cortisol levels up 24/7. And cortisol is literally your body's fat storage hormone. It tells your body to hold on to belly fat for emergencies. Even worse, high cortisol makes you insulin resistant, which means that even healthy foods get stored as fat. I was eating perfectly, following my intermittent fasting, especially in the beginning of this thing at the beginning of the year. But my stress hormones, they were sabotaging everything. You can't out diet chronic stress. I learned that the hard way. Now I try to meditate or pray for at least 10 minutes during my fasting window. Starting my day calm instead of chaotic changes everything. I take evening walks without my phone, and I actually try to use my vacation days. What do you think about that? Managing my stress became just as important as managing my meals, because when your cortisol is high, every other hormone gets thrown off. Mistake number 4 is I was treating sleep like it was optional, surviving on 5 to 6 hours, thinking that the rest of my day could survive on caffeine. Child, the audacity. Now I'm gonna be real with y'all. I know we gotta work. I know we gotta do all kinds of other things, but here's the thing, okay? One thing that we can do is try to find little pockets of time that we can save on when we get home from work or different things like that so that we can get to bed earlier. I know it's not always realistic, but whenever you can, try. It's not all or nothing. You can't get 8 hours, but you can get 6. Try to get that 6 faithfully. Poor sleep wrecks your hunger hormones, and those are ghrelin and leptin. When you're sleep deprived, guess what? Ghrelin goes through the roof, making you hungry all dang on day. And leptin can't do his job telling you when you're full. Y'all, I'd break my fast and still be looking around like, what else we got? What's going on? And sleep deprivation, surprise, also spikes cortisol, makes you insulin resistant, and it tanks that growth hormone. It's like hormone chaos in your body. Now I protect my 7 to 8 hours like it's sacred. I try to stop eating 3 hours before bed, which supports both my fasting and my sleep quality. I know a lot of us get the itis on a full stomach, but let me tell you, you sleep so much better when you don't have all that heartburn, indigestion, and upset stomach. I sound like a commercial. I keep my room pretty cool because I used to think being warm and cozy was better, but that was actually interrupting my sleep. And I also try to put away my phone at least an hour before bed. That doesn't always happen, but like I said, it's not all or nothing. When your sleep is on point, your hunger hormones work with your intermittent fasting schedule and not against it, or just your regular eating schedule for that matter. Mistake number 5 was counterintuitive. During my eating window in the beginning, I wasn't getting nearly enough protein. And y'all, it was sabotaging everything. Protein has the highest thermic effect of all macronutrients. Your body burns 20 to 30% of protein calories, and that's just by digesting it, just by having it. It also stimulates glucagon, which helps with fat burning, and that keeps you satisfied for hours. When I wasn't eating enough protein, I would break my fast with something light and then be starving hours later. And my body was fighting the fasting process because I wasn't properly nourished. So a lot of you all have written me about intermittent fasting and saying how you just are so hungry. A lot of times, if we tweak our protein and have more of it, you will be less hungry. Now I aim from 30 to 40 grams of protein with each meal. Of course, that's during my eating window. And I did receive a question on a recent video, like, if you're only eating for that 8-hour window and you're not eating the whole time, how in the world are you getting all this protein in? With things like eggs and avocado, Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, you can get the Oikos kind, it got 25 grams of protein per serving. And also my husband makes me protein smoothies. And I've also told you all I love coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. That ain't changing. So what I try to do is make my coffee worth it. So when I have my coffee midday, I take one of my Oikos Pro shakes and I pour it in. Y'all, that adds 30 grams of protein to just my shake. Everything doesn't have to be a full-blown meal. I found ways to fill in the gaps. And even if I want to have Greek yogurt, I also have learned how to make my own little snacks instead of buying pre-made snacks. I fill it with almonds and sometimes a little bit of M&Ms, usually the peanut butter M&Ms, other things like that really fill in gaps. And also I like to eat nutrient and protein rich meats. So if I'm going to have meat, I'm usually going to have poultry. So I'm going to have chicken, grilled chicken. I'm going to have baked chicken. I'm also going to have turkey tenderloins, and I love chicken thighs. There's so many ways to get that protein you need. And instead of having regular sauces, I also like to make sauces out of my plain Greek yogurt. This is a wonderful way for you to boost that protein yet again. So you don't have to eat the whole time in order to get that much protein. You just need to count the amount of protein that you're having. So a lot of y'all that are telling me that, I bet you're not keeping track of your protein and knowing exactly what is going into your mouth so that you can stay more protein rich and stay less hungry. And this keeps my metabolism fired up, and it makes fasting feel more natural instead of like torture. Adequate protein also preserves muscle during weight loss, and it keeps the metabolism from slowing down, especially as you age. Y'all, all together, it's a game changer. So let's recap those hormone game changers, shall we? Late night eating messes with insulin, cortisol, and your growth hormone. Endless cardio. It spikes cortisol and eats away at muscle. Ignoring your stress. It keeps cortisol high and sabotages everything. Poor sleep. It destroys hunger hormones. Not enough protein slows metabolism and increases your hunger. Fixing these mistakes plus strategic intermittent fasting, that helped me drop over 30 pounds in those 3 months, and it helped me to feel like myself again at the age of 41. The best part is I'm working with my hormones instead of fighting with them, because you ain't gonna win that battle. Remember, it's all about progress and not perfection. Your body isn't broken, it just needs the right approach. So which of these mistakes hit you right in the gut? Was it the late night snacking, the cardio queen life? Drop your comments, because you know I read every single one. If this helps you to understand what might be happening with your body, go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. I keep telling y'all it's free to subscribe. And if you're dealing with unexplained weight gain, energy crashes, or feeling like your body is working against you, it's probably not your fault, and it may be hormone mistakes that maybe you can tweak or fix. And if you know that you need professional support, go to www.trymidi.com/Dr. Nina, where you can get expert hormone care from clinicians that actually understand what you're going through. Believe me, I know. Now, I know you got this. And once you get all them hormones under control, your life will transform. All right, y'all. Beautiful Brown Baby Doll signing out. Peace.